Assalamu alaikum dear students of class 12. Hope you are fine. As you know, we have completed a lesson titled Lost Spring and we were discussing its questions. In today's lesson, we will be discussing its language part, that is thinking about language. Now let us start. Dear students, although this text speaks of factual events and situations of misery, it transforms these situations with an almost poetic prose into a literary experience. How does it do so? Here are some literary devices. Now, first is the literary devices here are, that is, first is hyperbole. Hyperbole is a way of speaking or writing that makes something sound better or more exciting than it really is. Hyperbole is a way of speaking or writing that makes something sound better or more exciting than it really is. For example, garbage to them is gold. This is hyperbole. Now there is another, that is literary device, that is metaphor. A metaphor, as we know, compares two things or ideas that are not very similar. Metaphor compares two things or ideas that are not very similar. A metaphor describes a thing in terms of a single quality or feature of some other thing. A metaphor describes a thing in terms of a single quality or feature of some other thing. We can say that a metaphor transfers a quality of one thing to another. We can say that a metaphor transfers a quality of one thing to another. For example, the road was a ribbon of light. Now there is simile. Simile is a word or phrase that compares one thing with another thing using the words like, as, like, or as. For example, as white as snow. Simile is a word or phrase that compares one thing with another thing. The words like or by using the words like or as, for example, as white as snow. Let me explain it again. Simile is a word or phrase that compares one thing with another using words like or as, for example, as white as snow. Dear students, carefully read the following phrases and sentences from the text. Now there are below given our phrases and sentences, and we are being asked to read these carefully. Can you identify literative devices in each example? We have to identify in each sentence we have to identify the literary device. So number first sentence is Sahib-e-Alam, which means the Lord of the universe, is directly in contrast to what Sahib is really. Sahil is reality. Sahib-e-Alam, which means the Lord of the universe, is डायरेक्टली इन कंट्रास्ट टू व्हाट साहिब इज इन रियलिटी. सो यहाँ पे जो लिटरेरी डिवाइस इस्तेमाल हुआ है दैट इज़ हाइपरबोली. नंबर सेकंड इज drowned in the air of desolation. Drowned in the air of desolation. And here the literary device which have been used is, it is metaphor. Drowned in an air of desolation. Number third is Simapuri, a place on the periphery of Delhi yet miles away from it metaphorically. Simapuri, a place on the periphery of Delhi yet miles away from it metaphorically. This is contrast. Here contrast has been used. So the literary device here used is, it is contrast. Now the fourth one is for the children it is rapid in wonder, for the elders it is a means of survival. This is contrast. So number 5, as her hands move mechanically like the tongues of a machine, I wonder if she knows the sanctity of the bangles as she helps make. So यहाँ पे जो इस्तेमाल हुआ that is simile. As her hands move mechanically like, यहाँ पे like इस्तेमाल हुआ है, like the tongues of a machine, I wonder if she knows the sanctity of the bangles she helps make. यहाँ पे simile इस्तेमाल हुआ है, literary device simile इस्तेमाल हुआ है. So number 6 is she still has bangles on wrist but no light in her eyes. Here contrast has been made. Contrast has been made. So now the contrast here, this what is has been used here, it is contrast. Now another is that is few airplanes fly over Ferozabad. This is hyperbole. Few airplanes fly over Ferozabad. So there hyperbole has been used. Now eighth one, that is web poverty. Web poverty, this is metaphor. And 9, scrounging for gold. Scrounging for gold, this is metaphor. Number 10, and survival in Simapuri means rag picking. Through the years it has acquired the proportions of a fine art. This is hyperbole. And 11 is, this is the steel canister seems heavier than the plastic bag he would carry so lightly over his shoulders. So here contrast has been used. Now long answer type questions. What are the dreams of the poor like Sahib Alam and Mukesh? What are the dreams of the poor like Sahib Alam and Mukesh? Could these be realized? What is the reality of the situation? What is the reality of the situation? These are long answer type questions. Answer is poor rag pickers like Sahib opened the early years of their lives looking for gold in garbage dumps. Poor rag pickers like Sahib spent the early years of their lives looking for gold in garbage dumps. The parents of these street children have no fixed income. They wage war against poverty and hunger. They have no dreams except finding the means of survival. Garbage to them is gold. It is the source of their daily bread and provides a roof over their heads. He ends up as a servant at a tea stall and loses his freedom. Mukesh, the son of a poor bangle maker of Ferozabad, has a dream of becoming a motor mechanic. He wants to learn to drive a car. He thinks of joining a garage. He thinks of joining a garage to fulfill his dream. He knows that the garage is far away, yet he has decided to walk. He realizes the reality and is willing to overcome the obstacles. His daring to rise and decision to get free from the trap laid by vicious moneylenders and middlemen arouse a sense of hope. Deprived of education, proper food, and upbringing, these children are forced into labor early in time. Now, question number second is Ferozabad presents a strange paradox. Ferozabad presents a strange paradox. Contrast the beauty of the gilas bangles of Ferozabad with the misery of the people who produce them. Answer: Ferozabad, the center of India's gilas blowing industry, is famous for its bangles. Spirals of bangles of various colors can be seen flying in mounds, in yards, or piled on four-wheeled push carts. These bangles have shining bright colors: sunny gold, paddy, green, royal blue, pink, purple. In fact, every color born out of the 7 colors of the rainbow. The bangle makers led a miserable life. They know no other work than bangle making. They have neither courage nor money to start another trade or job. They have spent generations in the clutches of middlemen and moneylenders. Extreme poverty forces poverty forces them to remain hungry and yet work all. The elderly woman who worked with Savita has not enjoyed even one full meal in her entire lifetime. Her husband has made a house for the family to live in. He has achieved what many have failed in their lifetime. Mukesh's father has failed to renovate a house or send his 2 sons to school. Young boys are as tired as their fathers. Their work at hot furnaces make them blind prematurely. Thank you very much.